you grew up being told you should not date, you are still young, or now it is a hard time that you date. You are in your 30s. What are waiting, young man? What are waiting, young lady? Is there anything you're waiting for? Why are you not dating that friend of yours? Why are you not dating that pastor of yours, that deacon of yours? He seems good. She seems good. By the way, I saw brother, saw sister, saw eyeing you. Don't you think you can reach out to them? Now, we were told dating, but it was never defined for us. What is dating? If you have realized last week, we were talking about effective communication in an authentic marriage. Now, today we want to start to talk about authentic or effective communication in an authentic relationship that is leading to marriage, or effective communication during the period of dating and courting for marriage. That's what we are going to talk about. Now, before we define what dating is, you've heard your parents say, when I used to date your mom, when I used to date your dad. And then you hear others say, you should never stop dating each other. Now, you kind of feel these people are contradicting each other. One is saying when they used to. Another one is saying, these people, they should not stop. So until now we realize and until we get to define what is dating, we will never understand why it is something that should be stopped after marriage, that is after the wedding, or something to continue till we die. But before we define what it is very important to define, do we go to date in order to know who is the one, or do we date the one? In other words, do we know that this is the husband I ought to be married to, or this is the wife I ought to marry, and then now I'm going to date them? Now, the second is the right one. We do not date people so that we can find out peradventure she's the one. Peradventure, he's the one. Because dating is where, yes, I'm not saying that you speak everything about you in 1 hour, but it is where you intentionally release the data of who you are. What is dating, in other words? This is accepting to be known and having the willingness to know the other person with the whole truth. Now, we will be seeing next in this week how we have so many obstacles that fight dating. Why? Because now dating has come to be, it's something that people do in order to find out the one. So as a result, by the time someone finds the one, they have messed up their life. They have messed up their ability to communicate. They have messed up the enthusiasm of dating. Their life of dating is no longer there. And as a result, you might find that you are one of those people, or your wife, or your husband, or your children will, or were, or might. So now that's why we need to address this, at least so that you get to understand why you behave the way you behave, or why even now you should help your children in the future to do it the right way. First thing first, we don't date the people so that we can find out whether they are the ones that God has made us to date. Instead, we date the people that God has given us. In other words, what does that mean? What is dating? This is why I talk about anything and everything about me exactly the way it is. That includes my past, that includes my present, that includes our future. I don't know, there's this myth or this people where you find saying that when you meet with your husband or with your wife, just talk from that day going forward. Don't go into the history, don't go into the details. But that is a lie, because you can't love the person you see today unless if they die and then get reborn. Because the person I am today is a combination of my past. So if I remove me of the past, now am I saying that tell people that you are evil because you used to be evil? No, but let them know that today you are not who you used to be. Today, yes, you might be good. Today, yes, you might be bad. But kitambo, you weren't that person, or long time ago, you weren't that person. So next days ahead, we'll be covering what are the major things to share, first things to share. Because, for example, let me say, you are a lady there, or you are a man there, you are dating someone, or you are saying that you want to date, but you are going to see a woman and you know that, for example, let me see, you have like a serious illness. But when you go there, you start to talk about how many houses you build. You know it is good houses that come in. But do you think you should let them know some of the weaknesses first? So now those are the things that we are going to talk about. Not because we appreciate and praise sickness or disease or weakness. No. But because when this person is going to love you, they won't love the person they don't know. They will love the one you let them know. I hope this makes sense. Like if you want them to know you as a scientific person, they will know you through as someone who knows science. Have you ever met someone, your colleague or your boss, and then he does something and then you're like, wow, you can't even sing. We never knew that. You see? So in other words, had you got an opportunity of someone who wants someone who can sing for them and get some payment or some rewards, you would not have recommended this guy or this woman. Why? She or he had never expressed or let you know that indeed even I can sing. Now that's what happens in a marriage setup. When we go there, our resume we give, it is wrong. Please, before you start to blame your spouse or before you start to blame your husband or your wife, kindly hold on. They don't do that because they are proud to do that. Believe you me. It might be fear based on the past of how other men or women treated them. It can be because of how their parents brought them up. You don't say everything. Africans, we know that. That's what we always were told when we were still kids. You don't say what you've eaten at home. You don't say where you have gone. So as a result, we grow to be individuals who can never let any other person get to know them, including now our spouse. Because if that's how by default you are raised, even when you meet your spouse, don't think that just from nowhere you start just to tell them about you. And yes, you might say it's because we have not yet known each other. But you know, when you come to dating, that's the whole point. We date to know each other. We don't hold back that until I have known you. No, you will never know me. Yes, maybe we will organize in the same place for a long period of time. But that doesn't mean that you know me. I'm so sure some of you who take trains every day, there are some people you do see traveling in the same train with you, the same matatu with you, the colleagues, but you have never even said hi to them. So you see, imagine this person say, we haven't spoken because I haven't known him. Yes, because do you know that, I don't know, maybe for you who have sold friendships and different kind of friendship with different people, have you ever met a lady or met a man or met a couple and then you had like 1 week of communication and you felt you know these people more than even the people that have been in 10 years in your life? Why? Because with these ones, there is intentionality to accept to be known and also to accept to know the other person. Now, one of the dangers in a relationship that we are facing, it is that we are told dating, it is just somewhere we go to have fun, drink. In our days, the way the word dating is misused is the same way the word love is misused. I love water. I love the cup. I love the light. I love the camera. We love things. But yet the things are not lovable. They are likable or dislikable. But you can't hate a thing or love a thing. As a Christian who believes that love is patient, love is kind, love does not correct the record of evil. So you see, you can't love a thing. Because a thing will never wrong you. A thing will never express compassion. A thing will never feel pain so that now you can be patient with it. So now that's why even the word dating has been carried out and misunderstood. That's why today we said, instead of starting to say what you should talk about during dating or not, we can start to say, who do you date? Do you date the man you want to marry? Or you suspect he might be the one? Or do you date the man that God already has confirmed to you? Any other thing that you did before that, before you knew that this is your husband, believe you me, that was not dating. And if you see, when you release information, we'll see that in the depth tomorrow. When you release a lot of information to someone you are not sure whether you marry, it damages everything that now the other person you marry could and should have enjoyed. Is it redeemable? Yes, it is true. But you see, you can rather have a car that has not been bumped and then go to mechanic to repair than having a car that has been bumped and then you go to the mechanic. So you need to understand the racer, like I can get sick and get healed. I can get a scar and then get healed. But it is better if I don't have any scar. So that's how the simplest way I can bring this to you, ladies and gentlemen, married or not married. You'll be surprised that today there are couples who are not yet living in the same house, but they know each other compared to people who have been living together for 10 years or 20 years. Why? The definition of dating for them is different. And that's why we call it don't stop dating even after you get wedded. Why? Because knowing a person doesn't only end with their past. It starts with their past, and then you do with their present, and then now we continue the future together. But the problem today when people go to date, guess what? They talk about their future only. And they forget that their future is a result of today. And today they forget that it is a result of yesterday. So remove one stone. For those who have been in villages, there are those, in Kiswahili you call it mafiga, if that is the right word. That's how I was taught. Like where you used to put a stone there and here, 3 of them, and then you cook. So now when you remove one, the other one falls. If I tell you my past and I don't tell you my present and tell you the future, I want to get it. But also if I remove my future and tell you my present and past, it won't add up. The same thing if I tell you my present and future without past, it will either way. So now we need to have these 3 stones, whereby I get to know about my past so that now I'll be able to tell it. Sometimes it is messy, it is hurting, it is painful. It's a past we don't want to associate with. And even more, the more we are increasing, the more years continue, the more the past of people becomes harder. So when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the parenthood, because families are breaking. And when they break, mostly we talk about ladies start to go to drugs, start to go to sexual perversion. Men, they do the same. Their father starts to cheat. Their mother starts to cheat. Like you find a lady, she caught her mom having sex with another man or with the gay man in the bed of the father. You can imagine how will she tell that to the husband. But also you can imagine how much insecure she'll grow up feeling, dirty, the sin. So that's why dating someone you're not going to marry, it is so hurting. Now imagine you tell someone those things and then tomorrow you hear them outside, or even if you don't hear them outside, you tell this man, you tell the other man, you tell the other man. Within a 5 period of time, you've spoken to 3 or 4 men. You've told them your inner things. Guess what? You start to feel empty. You start to feel outside. You start to feel exposed. You start to feel ashamed. And that's why it is very important. Don't go to date if this man and this woman, God has not confirmed he is the one. Am I saying you can't be a friend with someone? Please, you can. But let's be genuine. Are you really friends? Or you are benefiting the benefits of couple which is dating, though you claim not to date? That's what is happening in our generation. They call it situationship. It is where the couple, they all tell people, we are not dating. But if you see how they hug, how they hold hands, and each one of us at a certain point, that happened to us. Maybe not you, but the other partner who was involved into that relationship. For them, they thought you loved them. Or it was you thought they loved you. Or it was both of you thought this thing would produce something. Tomorrow when you wake up, they are giving you save the date. Or tomorrow when you wake up and then they start to see another woman, another man, you take it personal. You see, that's when you get to realize this had nothing to do. You aren't friends. It's just that it was oblivious to you, but this woman, this man was feeding your romantic desires. So that's why it is very, very careful. It's not about what you title your relationship. It's about what you do for each other in that relationship that makes it either an innocent friendship or situationship, or fornication, or adultery, all of those things. And that's what we are going to be covering this week, and God willing, even the next week. Tomorrow we'll see what are the dangers of dating the wrong people. Like dating the person God has not called, like guessing. I call it dating of guessing, peradventure. What are the consequences?